Hi there, this is Diane. Welcome to my basement. This week we're going to be talking about the net of a solid. But before we do that, let's review the classification of solids. So we learned that solids can either have curved bodies or they can be polyhedrons. A curved body is a solid that has at least one curved surface. So here we have a cone. We said that polyhedrons can be divided into prisms and pyramids. Prisms are formed with two identical and parallel faces, which we call bases. So here we have a prism that has two squares as the base, right? And so we call this a square prism. We also talked about pyramids. Pyramids are polyhedrons that only have one base. Here, the base is a square, and then all the other sides are triangles. So we call this a square pyramid. Great. Now that we've reviewed that, let's move on in our workbook to page 15. On page 15 it says that the net of a solid allows you to observe all the faces of the solid on the same plane. So that means in 2 dimensions. It's as if you unfolded it and laid it out flat. So they take a square prism. Here we have a square prism. And we lay the shape out. You see the 2 square bases and the 4 rectangle sides. So here we have the net of a square prism. A square prism, remember, has 6 faces in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 squares and 4 rectangles. Let's try some practice. So, when you are trying to decide the net of a solid, what the name of that solid is, what I recommend is you identify its base or its bases. Let's look at A. It says name the solid that matches each net. You need to decide what are the bases here. So here you have 2 bases and they are triangles. So if you have 2 bases that are triangles and then you have 3 other sides, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces in total. Well, we know if the shape has 2 bases, it's a prism. And we have 2 triangles, so it is a triangular prism. Let's check our answer. Great. Let's look at B. B is a little tricky. You have 4 triangles. So what you need to decide is what shape or which face is the base. You have a base here, and that base is a triangle. So if you only have one base, it's a triangle, and all the other sides are triangles, what shape or which solid do you have? If you can't remember the names, please flip back and check. You have one base, so it's a pyramid, and that base is actually a triangle, so you have a triangular pyramid. Do you see that? Let's check. Yes. we have a triangular pyramid. Does that help? Let's try C. C has how many bases? 1 or 2? Thumbs up for 1. 2 thumbs up for 2. This shape has 1 base. The base is here in the middle. So your base is a square. Let's go back to our shapes. So we have 1 base. It's going to be a pyramid. That base is a square. I think we have a square pyramid. That is correct. I know some of you need a little time to write the words out, and that's okay. If I ever go too fast, pause the video, write down the word, and then you can unpause and continue with us. Let's look at D. Ooh. D has how many bases? You know, if I can't really decide, you can always do a quick drawing. Put a piece of paper over top, trace it, cut it out, fold it. Let's see if I have this shape. I actually do. So here we have a very similar shape. And if I fold it, you will see what it looks like folded. So those of you who are still writing, keep writing. Those of you who have finished writing, great. Let's check out this shape. Okay, so I've folded my shape. I know my shape has how many faces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. Great. And when I fold it, it kind of turns out looking like a box, like an Amazon box. Actually, it looks a bit like a Q-tip box, doesn't it? My Q-tips come in a box like this. Okay, much bigger actually. I don't have little tiny Q-tips, but that would be cute. So, we have this shape. I have 2 rectangles, 2 larger rectangles here, which they have the 2 rectangles there, and then 4 rectangles around the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not exactly the same. I understand that, but the concept is the same. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total rectangles. So if you have 6 total rectangles, you are going to have, if you can't remember, go back. Well, is it a prism or a pyramid? How many bases do we have? I see 2 bases because they're parallel. When I fold this, they're parallel. So I have 2 bases. Now, are my bases square or rectangle? I believe they're rectangle. So I'm going to say it's a rectangular prism. And I would be correct. And I'm sure you're correct too. That's basically all you need to do for this. You have to find out if there is 1 base or 2 bases. That will tell you whether you're working with a pyramid or a prism. And then you need to decide if your bases are a square, a rectangle, or a triangle. And that will help you classify the solid based on its net. It's not easy for everyone, and that's okay if it's not easy for you. You just have to practice. You can also draw the shapes, cut them out, draw the nets, cut them out. You can label the sides, label the bases, label the faces, whatever helps you. Let's move on, give ourselves a little more practice. They change it up a bit on page 16. So on page 16, you're given a chart, and it says, name the plane figures that are still needed to construct each solid. That just means to build it. I skipped the example, the square prism, the rectangular prism, and the square pyramid. Let's go straight to the triangular prism. So what I've done is I've taken the net of a triangular prism. I know this is the net of the triangular prism because there is one base, and all you have to do is label it if you'd like. I have a base. I know that my base is a solid, and there is, is a triangle, and there is one base, so this is going to be a, it says triangular prism, and I'm doing a pyramid, so don't use that. I am going to use this one. I didn't put that too far because I'm going to need that for D. Let's try this again. Thanks for letting me know I had the wrong net. Okay, now let's try a triangular prism. That's why it's important. It really is important to label so that you know what you're doing. So here I have two bases. I have one base, that's a triangle, and I have two, that's my second base, which is a triangle, and then I have a rectangular face, one rectangular face, a second triangular face. I say triangular, but it's rectangular, isn't it? And then a third rectangular base. Side. You guys, let's try this again. I have one triangular base. I have two triangular bases. I have one rectangular face, two rectangular faces, three rectangular faces. That is much better. So now, I'm trying to do a triangular prism. Prisms have two bases, and a triangular prism has two bases that are triangular. I think I'm right now. Okay, so they're asking, what's missing in this figure that they've drawn? Well, they've only drawn one triangle. So I'm going to shade it in for you. There we go. One triangle. Now what am I missing? Well, I'm missing my base here, so another triangle, and I'm missing my three rectangular faces. Do you think I'm right? It's okay if I'm not right. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But we have to learn from them, right? So let's check our answer and see if we got it right. I should be missing one triangle and three rectangles. One triangle and three rectangles. We got it right. Way to go. Let's try D, a triangular pyramid. I'm going to get my paper that I had started last time. Here we go. Okay, so triangular pyramid. In a triangular pyramid, I need two triangles. So I have my base already, right? Then I have a triangle face, and a triangular face here. So I should have four triangles and a triangular pyramid. But they've only given us 2. I can choose which 2. Which 2 should I do? How about we do a left and a right? We'll get rid of this one. And we'll get rid of this one. Okay. There we go. Hopefully you can tell that I've shaded in 2 different triangles. So with these 2 triangles shaded in, which shapes do I have left to make a triangular pyramid? I have 1 triangle and 2 triangles. So I still need 2 triangles, right? Put your thumb up if you agree. Put your thumb down if you disagree that I'm missing something else. Oh, I see a lot of thumbs up. Here we go. 2 triangles. That's exactly what I was missing. Great. Hopefully you can see it visually here. Let's do the last one. The last one is a cube. I'm actually going to use my cube. So here's my cube. And my cube allows me to take it out and stretch it. And I've already labeled all my faces. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter how you count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 faces. This is a cube. Now they say that they already have 4 squares. So if you get rid of 4 squares, which 4 should we get rid of? It's easy to get rid of these. So that's 3. And then we'll get rid of that one. 4. How many do I have left? I'm going to get rid of those 4. Okay. So how many do I have left? 36. No, I was just counting the sides. So I should have 2 left. Does it help you if I do the same that I did before and we color them? Here I have a smaller version. So we get rid of 4 of them. I can label it. My bases, I have a base on this side, and I have a base on that side, and then I have a face, a face, a face, and a face. So if I count them all, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total faces, of which 2 are bases. So we knew it was this cube. They actually tell us. And we're going to get rid of 4. Let's just get rid of the 4 faces. Goodbye. See you later. Au revoir. Arrivederci. Adamai. Wee. Hasta la vista. Okay, now we just have our bases left. So we have 2 squares left. 2 squares. I think that's all we need. Yes, 2 squares. Great. You guys are doing fantastic. Do you want to try number 3 together? I feel like we're ready for it. Yeah, let's do this. Here is the net of a die. So if you remember, a die is the singular form of dice. If you have 2, it's dice. If you have 1, it's a die. So what we can do, hey, I know, we will take a piece of paper and you can make it look exactly like their die. So I've cut it into, I've taken a just scrap piece of paper around my house. I've cut it out so that it looks just like their die. And you can draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the dots right on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm a very visual person. I like to see what I'm working with, but I also like to fold it and manipulate it in my hands. It's just easier for me. So if this is easier for you, go ahead and cut it out. Draw it on a piece of paper, whatever works for you, okay? Now, I've taken what they've given us, I've replicated it, made a copy, but now I can fold it and visually see what I'm working with. It says indicate the number of points on the face that is opposite the one shown. What does that mean? Indicate just means to tell or to write it down. So write down the number of points on the face that is opposite. Opposite means on the other side of the one shown. So what are they calling the points? The dots. So write down the number of dots on the face that is on the other side of the one that they've given us. Whew! What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my die so now I can see it easier. So let's look at the example. They give us 2. If I have it folded and I flip it over, I see 5. So let's see what they've said. 5 was their example. Can you see that? 5. 6. So if I have 6, where's my 6? 6, where are you? Oh, there's my 6. The opposite of my 6 is going to be a 1. For some people, if it's laid out, this is what you see. If you pretend to fold it, you see that the 6 is opposite the 1. Do you see that? The 6 is opposite the 1 when it's all folded. So the 6 is opposite the 1. So you see 1 dot. What about the 5? So if we have 5, woo! Where's the 5? There's the 5. If you have the 5, and you want to see what's on the opposite side, you can open it up and look at the bottom, if that's the top. And at the bottom it's going to be 2. If you have 5, the other side will be a 2. Let's see if we got that one right. 2. So right now we have 5, 1, 2. Who thinks they know what the opposite side of 3 is without using my paper cube there? Look at 3. What do you think the opposite of 3 is going to be? You have to think back to when we did 6 and 1. There was only one space between it, right? So 3, what is the opposite of 3 going to be? Raise your hand if you think it's 1. No? Maybe? Okay, what about 5? What about 4? 2? 6? Let's check it out. If you raised your hand and you had a different answer than someone else, it's perfectly all right. That's how we learn. So let's check this out. 3. The opposite of 3. Dun, 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 dun. 4. Who got 4? The opposite side of 3 is a 4. That one's pretty hard. It is 4. I think a lot of this is difficult. And I'm really proud of you for trying. Just always do your best. That's the best you can do. 1. What's the opposite of 1? If the opposite of 6 is 1, what do you think the opposite of 1 is going to be? Do you think it's 6? It is. It's 6. They're the opposite of each other. So if you keep that in mind, the opposite of 2 was 5. The opposite of 6 was 1. The opposite of 1 was 6. The opposite of 5 was 2, because they lined up, right? So if the opposite of 3 was 4, the opposite of 4 should be 3. Yeah, I heard it. Of course it is. 3. Let's check it out. If we look at 4, we spin it, the opposite is going to be 3. 3 and 4. Opposite sides. Great. I think you're ready. You are definitely ready. Go ahead. Try page 17. Try to do A and B at the top. See what you've got. You can even show your parents, your friends. See if they can guess what the opposite is on your net of a die. Have fun. Stay curious. And I'll see you next time. Bye.